Good evening, good evening, good evening. Unless I'm not hearing something. I feel like I'm not hearing music. Hey, everybody.
Can you hear me, Jay?
Yeah.
Okay, then we're live. We're on the races. Let's do this.
Okay, because I was like, oh my God, do I have any music or not?
It's going. I hear it.
Okay, I can't hear it at all. That's crazy. All right, that's why I'm not moving. Oh, technology. Well, hey, everyone. Hey, Tara. Good to see you. Good to see you. Hey, Story. Hey, Lena. Good to see all of you. Justice, let me know when the music is. Since everybody else is hearing it but me. Look, it's so good to see all of you. Good to see all of you. Thank you for joining. Thank you for joining. Look, click like and share. Click like and share. Like and share. Love and share. Care and share. Look, whichever one you need to do to get it through. I just wanna sit with you for a few minutes. It's so good to see all of you tonight. It's so good to have all of you tonight. And I am totally grateful for your energy, your love. And I tell you, it is such a time to be in. Such a time to be in. And so I just really want to make sure that we sit with some stuff today. Number one, I will tell you, I know a lot of y'all are probably sending a lot of prayers to Haiti and those refugees. It is absolute a mess right now. I'm not even going to sit here and pretend. So I want us to make sure that we send some love to a community of people that, of course, are seeking refuge. That's the key word. They're seeking refuge. And I get we've got a lot of political warfare, but I am not here to shut down anybody who is seeking refuge. And we've got to do a lot better in this country around that. I could spend hours, but I don't like to use my show for daily news. And I don't like to use this love work that we try to do on this show and this freedom work that we try to do on this show for you know, for that either, right? So I just want to be honest. If you need to check it out, go on CNN, check it out. It is a mess to see the violence that is happening to Black and brown people seeking refuge to at least escape the horrible eras of political violence. So. I think we can do more than send prayers. We can tag Joe Biden. We can tag Kamala Harris. We can tag your congressperson. We need some voices on this because there's no need for us to do violence. I just lost a few good people because of that. Because we want to quote pure America. We good. You can step off my platform. I just want to be very honest about that. And in the end, I want to pick up here with you, if I may. Really great book called Meaningful Flesh. Meaningful Flesh. Reflections of Religion and Nature for a Queer Planet. I felt like I wanted to share this with you because I felt like this was important. I recently have been I had the wonderful opportunity this Sunday to sit with Dr. Carol Wayne White. And if you have never heard of her, please look her up, Dr. Carol Wayne White. She is an amazing scholar who does work around naturalistic humanism. And I know a lot of us are probably like, what am I going to take you on to? I just want to share this with you. I love her thoughts here. She says something quite powerful. In an attempt to address these various forms of alienation, alienation, as we think about our refugee family, our Haitian family. and in those who are also seeking refuge elsewhere. In an attempt to address these various forms of alienation experienced by Americans, desiring profound connection with otherness, James Baldwin, introduces the concept of love. Far from being a lofty abstraction, Baldwin's conception of love entails a radical readjustment of human relations, requiring individuals and community to embrace others they often fear. I'm going to say that again. James Baldwin's concept of love entails a radical readjustment of human relation, requiring individuals and communities to embrace others they often fear. That's one. Dismiss. That's another. And even hate. Some of us don't want to sit with that. This specific form of love demanded from white and black unprecedented acts of courage and I'm having a hard time reading this word. And I know this word. I'm looking like at it. I hate when that happens. Right? Unprecedented acts of courage and ostentatious choices. Duh. Accordingly, his view of love was a creative means of synthesizing the effective and ethical with social and political advancement. Accordingly, his view of love was a creative means of synthesizing the effective and ethical with the social political advancement. I would love to spend time talking about love because I love talking about love. And I do believe that the work that we do, hey, Carolyn, yes, you are here and you are not late. You are loved. Okay, you are not late. You are loved, honey. It's so good to see you. I've missed you for some time. I want to point out that what James Baldwin and what Carol Wayne White is doing here is addressing something that we need to look at, that we need to readjust. We need a radical readjustment of the human relationship regarding both individual and our community to embrace others we often fear, dismiss, or we hate. We often fear, dismiss, or we hate. And I think it's because I think that one of the biggest questions that I find that we need to ask within our relationship with humanity is not only how we want to be in relationship, but how do we hope to restore each other? I have been in the most interesting experience lately with my own body, an individualized process where I have decided to actually spend time healing my body. Now, some people be like, well, Jay, nothing's wrong with you. You're not sick and all these other things. You're healthy. You look good. You smell good. You smile good. Nothing wrong with you. But that's not necessarily the case. And I know some of us know how to slap a smile on our face and, you know, present and make sure that we are presentable and so on and so forth. That's okay. But one thing that is very important is when we begin to take care of our body. And when I'm saying that, I spent 4 years sitting at desk and sitting and sitting and sitting. I probably shouldn't be sitting now, right? I would love to stand, but sometimes I think of that's a little bit of too much of a big call. But I will say that when we are in spaces that we're in right now, it has been important for me to maintain a healthy mindset, a healthy body, so that I can also increase my capacity to love beyond what I have even, in many ways, possibly because I was uncomfortable, possibly because my back hurts. Some people know that I often have back pains. it makes me uncomfortable. It makes me short. It makes me short with people. It makes me limited. If I'm not taking care of myself emotionally, right? I get to a place where my mind is not always able to offer the full attention or the focus because I become distracted or because I've decided to fill it up with other negative or busy things that do not offer full and concise, real attention, right? Real focus, right? I have had to spend time in many ways reclaiming my body and my story so that I can make sure that I embrace and do the love work that has caused me to some way maybe dismiss someone, maybe cut them off, maybe apply a form of dislike or hatred. I know some of us don't even think that we hate people, but that is possible. You know, sometimes we get to those spaces. And so this radical readjustment, if I may, I'm going to offer us the importance of, right, doing a radical realignment. One of the things that I did today was really trying to align my back to do the things that it was, that it was intended to do, and do them from spaces in which it does not cause me discomfort. And so one of the things that I wanted to point out here is that I think we need to ask the question of what is restorative in our relationships with humanity, with ourselves collectively, when we see the issues that are going on in the world begin with people and the government and people. We have to ask ourselves the question, what is restorative in this process? And why is it necessary for us? It doesn't even, if we don't even go for the governmental, I stopped in the middle of a sentence, but I also want to point out too, even if we think about our own personal relationships with each other, our mothers or our fathers or our sisters or our brothers or our cousins and so on and so forth, we have to begin to think about what are our full capacities and able to be fully present. And you've heard me talk about presence multiple times, but one of the things that I think is important to point out too is that we've got to be mindful that we are not all together. And that sometimes we have our own toxics that we've got to work out. One of my favorite words that I used to love to hear when I was in sanctified church, they used to say the word, well, baby, you're anointed. And anointing often meant something to the degree of someone who was a prodigy. They had a special gift. They had a kind of they figured out their niche in life, and they were able to work it and move it and things like that. We've got some artists who can just draw, right? And we've got some people who just are amazing at dancing. Some people can just open their mouth and belt out a note that sounds like, right, a beautiful Whitney Houston to a Luther Vandross, or maybe those who need a bit of Beyonce. And if we go as far as, Alicia Keys, right? There is so much talent. There are those who immediately can engage in deep ways of knowing and thinking because they are prodigies. They are anointed. And that word was a very interesting word. And I began to look at the word today because I began to think about the importance of the adjustment of human relationship, and how love is a factor, as Baldwin would say. Love is a factor because love heals. I want to pause on that. Love heals. But love is not only just a healer. It does several things, and we can go over that as we go through this show, and y'all tune in every Tuesday, right? But one of the things that's important is thinking about when we apply love as a healing component. I bring in this idea that I grew up with, and I began to look at the etymology of the word anoint, which meant anoint was often referred to as a Christological word, a Christ word, a word that referred to one that was anointed, often referred to in maybe some Judaic or Hebrew passages as the Messiah. These frameworks are not things that I often prescribe to, being that I'm a humanist, because I do believe that people have exceptional inherited worth. So we already come with some kind of, quote, anointing or prodigy, if you will. We are a gift to each other. We are a gift to ourselves. We arrive in greatness because we are in many ways breathing in the air that we have, and at the same time have the ability to use our breath, right, in the perfect time and place to make change. Here is where it comes in for me. I looked at the word and looked at the etymology. And the word comes from a Latin word meaning that says ingruent, which ingruence would refer to needing to take and smear oil. And so then I thought to myself, as someone who goes through back pains, for some of you who probably go through, if you've ever been to a good masseuse, you understand the importance of a good massage. A good massage requires that the masseuse understands not only the pressure in the back, not only the muscles that are in tension, but how to find and press and smear out the discomfort. Smear out the discomfort. I wish I had a masseuse here today to show this example, because a good masseuse, when experienced, actually will cause you to use the bathroom after they are finished, because all of the toxics have gotten into the body so that they can then go to the bowel or to the bladder to then be released. That's a healthy masseuse. So if you've been to somebody and you're like, oh, I didn't go through that, you didn't have a good massage. A good massage works on the toxicity that is resting on the body and in the body, and concentrates it into an area where it can become waste. Where am I going with this? It is a moment where, when we think about relationships that we are in, a lot of stuff that we deal with, a lot of people that we come in contact with, the reason why we can never come into a healing place, a reconciling place, is because both of us can be toxic. Ooh, we don't want to sit with that though. We want to keep playing blame game. No. We both are traumatized. We both been victimized. We all have been criminalized. We all have experienced some type of, in some way, experienced some type of pain that we have not even shaken off, and there is a complete residue in the way that we engage with relationship. And the reason why we do not have the best relationship, yes, I'm going to use an interpretation, and this might not sound scientific, but I will tell you this much: it is because you have not gotten rid of the toxicity that's going through you from other people and from your past. Now, a good massage requires a rubbing. A deep tissue massage is a smearing into the body. And then you take applied oils to then go into the body to go and to actually, in many ways, massage into the body to a point where it encapsulates the waste and moves it down to an area where it can be removed. We carry so much toxicity, and I do believe that the reason why this happens, we end up carrying so much toxicity, it causes us never to realize our gift. The toxicity in our life, in the relationships that we try to build, the relationships that we have even in our own self, they cause us to never actually fully release. We don't end up fully releasing because we're still trying to hold on to something we possibly need to let go. We're still trying to hold on, and we want to blame everybody else for the trauma. We want to put people in and place them up against each other. We want to in many ways sit with the fact that, oh, well, they didn't do this and I was doing this. Check the area. If you want to find out where it is, check both your mind, check your heart. Be honest about where things are not okay. Be honest about where things are not okay. Be honest about what your capacity is to be present. Be honest about how you are being affected emotionally and mentally and spiritually and physically. Because like I said, once again, it will do you a good favor. The reason why not everybody can experience you and not everybody can kind of touch your life is because of the simple fact that they are also toxic. And they will quench your gift. And I'm telling you, my freedom folk, that you are a gift to the world. And your freedom is being quenched, most of all, because you keep thinking that you're inadequate in some form or capacity. You keep thinking that your vision is too wild. Or because it doesn't fit the norm. Your family doesn't look like everybody else's family. They don't act like everybody else's family. Somebody else got the promotion instead of you. What does it look like when I spend time healing myself so that I can actually love beyond? When I get to my gift and attend to my gift, the gift that I am for myself and to others. But first, I got to be for myself. When I realize and actualize the gift for myself, what ends up happening is that gift matures because I refuse for it to be in toxic hands. I refuse to allow for toxicity to infiltrate my life. Negative words, stories that my uncle said about me, stories that someone I dated said about me, stories that old friends said about me. I began to remove all of those things and focus on moving the discomfort into areas that I can remove in many ways the waste and the toxics out of it. It allows for my gift to flourish. What are you doing for your gift to flourish? How are you using self-care as an act of self-love? So that you can increase your capacity. So that your gift becomes a full-on production for people and others who maybe have a similar story to arrive at realizing that they are gifted too. How are you handling the toxicity that you have kept in your life for years? How are you managing it so you don't take your toxic self and then apply more toxics to somebody else? A good masseuse washes their hands. They take the oil. They start around the surface. that is balled up in knots. They go around the surface in the areas that are filled with discomfort. They go around because they've got to isolate the area so that they can remove it from the body and help the body remove it into an area of waste. We need a radical readjustment. We need a radical realignment. We need a radical readjustment in our human relationships so that we can sit in the spaces that we often feared, so that we can work on the fact that there are things in our life that we have tried to dismiss, or that we've in some way developed a prejudice or pride against that, which in many ways doesn't deserve to be dismissed or feared or hatred. I want us to take the time to think about how we come to the moment to remove that kind of toxicity. Because it's not everybody else a lot of times. Sometimes it's us. Sometimes it's us. And the more honest we are about us and how we do and who we are, I guarantee you we'll figure out better ways to serve people who are looking to us. That's a work. That's a work. Can you imagine if a masseuse went ahead and put their hands on you in the same toxic energy that they had and the same kind of stress and tension went into your body? Let's not be those people. I do believe that we can be shamans, that we can be wounded healers. That is a real thing. I believe that. It might sound very philosophical and theological, but I do believe it's possible. But you've got to be honest about where you are. So, I hope that you will sit with me in taking the opportunity to embrace a radical readjustment. We are going to be doing some radical readjustments. And as the month of October gets ready to kick off pretty soon, we are really in fall. It is so exciting. I love this. I love this season. Nobody knows but me. I love this season, but I think it's because I'm a Scorpio and I love October. But look, in the end, I'm so glad to have you. I want to tell you in the end too that next October we're going to be celebrating Autism Awareness Month. So I want to bring attention to that. So please make sure that y'all get your minds and your ears ready, because we're going to bring in some people who have been doing this work around autism. And the title of that show for the month will be, in many ways, fall in love with loving yourself. Fall in love with the learning of yourself. That's what it is. Fall in love with the learning of yourself. I had a moment there. But I want to, share that with you. So Justice, let's kick it. I'm so glad. Good to see all of you. Missing you. Yes, music. I want more music. I'll see you next time. I'm your host, the ethical evangelist, JeHooper. And may goodness and sexy follow you all the days of your life. Love yourself in the process called life. Later.